One, please.
Okay, before we begin, I have to ask you this question. Have you ever gone to watch a movie in a theater all by yourself? No friends, no colleagues, no relatives, no cousins. If your answer was yes, hopefully you're going to relate a lot to this video. And if your answer is no, maybe I can give you some reasons to try this out. But first, let's admit it. As human beings, we are uncomfortable with ourselves. Actually, let me rephrase that. As human beings, we're uncomfortable being with ourselves. No matter what we're doing or where we're going, we just hate being around ourselves, and we always want to constantly surround ourselves with people. At least that's how I used to be for a very, very long, very, very large part of my life. And the thing is, it doesn't just stop with us being uncomfortable in our own company. We also tend to judge anyone else who is by themselves or trying to enjoy their own company, especially in public spaces. But why? Okay, I get that some activities like drinking, which are potentially very, very dangerous if you do it alone, and maybe playing a game or a sport by yourself could be a little weird. But there are some activities that are so terribly overrated, some who have been wrongly tagged as a group activity, like watching a movie. Hello and welcome back to the channel, everyone. And now that theaters are finally opening up properly, I can finally get back to doing this personal ritual of mine, which I didn't get to do over the last 1.5 years, which is going for a movie at a movie theater all by myself. That's what we're going to be talking about today, and also why you should also try this out for yourself. But first, roll that intro. I think I spend about 20% of my income on just watching movies at the movie theater, so you could say that it's a pretty significant part of my life. Going to the movies is like a pilgrimage for me. Popcorn, Coke, maybe the odd cream donut, partially reclining seats, a mostly faceless crowd sitting in complete darkness, just silhouettes of strangers just lit up by the screen, and of course a brand new story that takes place on that magical screen. The rest of the world just switches off and you enter a brand new one. It's one of my favorite things to do, but for a long time, until 2 years ago, I was doing it completely wrong. But in 2019 alone, I watched 8 movies by myself, and it changed my life. But before I tell you why watching movies alone is the greatest thing ever, let me tell you why sometimes it just sucks to go for movies with your friends or your family. Phase 1. The pitch. Suppose you want to watch a movie you're looking forward to, you're extremely excited for it as a movie fan, and you tell your friends about it that you want to watch it. You see where it's playing, you see when it's playing, and then you ping all of your WhatsApp groups with all your friends and you tell them, we just have to go watch this, let's go. And your friends, they want to talk about everything else in the world except what you've asked them. The ones who do respond to what you asked either have a problem with the show timing, they have a problem with the movie, or one of the stars, or the comedian. Every single person has at least one problem with the movie that you've suggested, and suppose some of them say that they want to come, they tell you that they have to check their schedule and that they'll let you know in a few hours, and this especially happens when there are only a very few seats left in the theater. Phase 2. The wait. Okay, so finally you've convinced some of your friends to come for the movie with you after a few hours, and now it's time for the show. And surprise, surprise, every single person is late. You decide to go in anyways, the movie begins, and your friends start arriving one by one at different intervals. You have to watch the first half hour of the movie with just silhouettes passing you by and stamping your foot and saying, oh sorry, and then giving you all kinds of excuses. Phase 3. The inquiry. Finally, your friends have settled into the seats after 1/3 of the movie is over, and now they start to ask you questions about what happened in the first half. What did he say? What did he mean? Who's this girl now? This movie doesn't make any sense. Phase 4. The theft. If you've made the mistake of buying your snacks when you got in, be prepared for all those zombie hands which are going to appear out of nowhere and dip into your hard-earned snacks, because after all, they've done you a favor by joining you for a movie that you wanted to watch for months. Phase 5. The review. Discussing a movie that you've just watched after it's over is a fun thing to do, but it doesn't stop with that. Your friends can't control themselves from telling you how bad the movie is during the interval at different points in the movie, and at a point where there's still 2 hours more to go for the movie to get over. So on one fine Saturday afternoon in 2019, when all of my friends said no to the movie that I wanted to watch, I was like, F it. I decided to book a single ticket for myself and went for a movie all alone, and this is what happened. Firstly, I got to the theatre with plenty of time to spare. I bought some snacks and I got into the screen, settled into my seats. I watched the ads, I watched the trailers. I didn't have to wait for anyone or watch the film in the fear that someone is going to come in between me and the screen and me and my movie. Secondly, there was just no one to ask me any questions or any ridiculous doubts about what's going on in the film. It was like I entered this dream world that I never wanted to leave, and there was no one to wake me up. And apart from the experience of enjoying the movie, I also started consuming the film like a screenplay, breaking down each frame or each scene in my head, which is constantly helping me in how to construct a film, which is something that I'm doing or something that I've been trying to do for a long time now. And of course, no one stole my snacks. I could also connect my own experiences and emotions to the film, and without having to worry about anyone else's opinions that would cloud my judgment of the film. And above all, in the darkness of a cinema hall, in the middle of strangers, I became comfortable with myself, which I was not used to for a very long time. See, I was also someone who used to judge other people who used to watch a film alone in the theatre, or who would used to eat at a restaurant by themselves. But watching a movie alone has not just made me consume cinema in a completely new perspective. It's also taught me, and it continues to teach me, to depend a little less on others for happiness. It's taught me to accept that it's okay to be alone sometimes. It's okay to do things by yourself. And it gave me an idea of a personal space that I don't know why I just ignored for all this while. So that was my experience, and I'm not saying that you should never go for a movie with your friends or your family. That's just stupid advice. It is important to spend time with the people you love, even if it's while watching a movie. What I'd suggest is that if you're going with a crowd, there are 2 kinds of movies that really work. Big budget spectacle films, superhero films like the Avengers, or our massy commercial movies with our biggest superstars. Or the second kind of movie that really works is just pick a film that you know that it's going to be bad. Hate watching a film on the big screen with your friends is like a different kind of a collective experience. But if you've not tried it yet, if you've not gone for a movie alone, maybe because of the fear of being judged by someone else or just any kind of fear in general, go watch a movie alone, and I bet it's going to change a few things about you. A solo movie ticket is literally a ticket to a new perspective, a ticket to a lot of unrequited self-love. If you have already watched a movie by yourself in the theaters, talk about your experience in the comments, tell everyone why it's awesome, or if you didn't like it. And suppose you've not watched a movie by yourself in the theaters yet, talk about why you've not done it so far, or if you even want to try it, what is that movie that you're waiting to watch by yourself. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next Friday.